What's up, everybody? Welcome into Unpaved. He's Sean Salisbury. I'm Adam Sager, Triple E behind the scenes, taking care of all the graphics and everything. Sean, we got a lot to talk about. We were off yesterday. You were off fishing in Hawaii. Did you catch anything?
Dude, well, when you got somebody on the boat who goes 145 pounds and it wasn't you, that's a bummer. But it was awesome, dude. And then, I mean, they're flowing everywhere. I'm still in search of the elusive marlin, but I still didn't get it. But it was awesome. From golf to fish, and it's been a phenomenal trip. I'm leaving today. I'll be back home in the normal studio tomorrow. But so proud of my son, and it was fun. So from fishing and golfing and all of it was spectacular. So thanks, man. I appreciate it. One more last thing scheduled yesterday. I had to get it in.
Yep.
Hopefully my son will only be married once, and we had a great time. So it's good to be here, man.
Yeah, I've been to Hawaii once, but it was when I think I was 20 I was 21 when I turned 21. I had a buddy stationed out there, and
okay,
in the Marine Corps.
Honolulu. Is that where you went?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And we went to different islands while I was there. But it was incredible, and that's what me and the wife, that's our goal trip, is to go out to Hawaii sometime here soon.
The problem is I'm going to make a trip out here once and I'm not coming back. That's right. That's the thing. I'm going to say, you know what? This will be the norm. Going back to the mainland will be the once in a while. But
until you realize you got to pay like $47 for a gallon of milk.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yes, unless you better make a lot of money and for a long time. If you want to sustain that, yeah. Hey, man, I'll have like some breakfast, room service, just some scrambled eggs and maybe a piece of dry wheat toast and orange juice. That'll be $75. You know, it's crazy, dude.
That's insane.
My son told me him and his wife ordered like the morning after they ordered like breakfast, like most couples do in the morning, the next morning. They said what they ordered, and the bill was like $140. I'm like, awesome. That's awesome. So were you full when you were done eating? No. No. You had yogurt and orange juice. But part and parcel of what goes on. The resort's been phenomenal. The golf has been spectacular as well. So, and the views and the snorkeling, it's been crazy, man. But it's beautiful. It's hard it's hard to be in a bad mood or not peaceful here, no matter what's going on in Houston sports, which isn't good, and sports all around. You forget that you're like, oh man, sorry, bummer for you guys, but I wonder how the other half's living right now, because I'm sitting here fat catting on the beach, so I don't really care. But but you got to come back and face it, talk sports and the rest of it. But it's been a great trip, man. So thanks to our great listeners and viewers for being patient with us. So appreciate it.
Well, since we were off yesterday, we didn't get a chance to talk about Monday Night Football. Sean, the Ravens have a problem, and it's on the defensive side of the ball, because they are giving up, I think, only one other team has given up more points than them this season. And yes, they've played some good teams, some good offenses, including the Bills and the Lions. But man, it was brutal to watch. And then even worse, on the other side of the ball, their offensive line let Lamar Jackson get sacked 7 times. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson had an amazing game, but Baltimore gave up, and go back to the defense. They gave up 224 rushing yards, almost 6 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns on the ground. They got their ass kicked. Luckily, Lamar in that offense is still good enough to keep you in the game, only losing by 1 score technically, but he wasn't outstanding throwing the ball. Derrick Henry laid it on the ground again every week this year so far. He's done it.
3 games in a row.
Yeah, what's going on with the Ravens, and especially on that defensive side of the ball?
Segs, when's the last time, honestly, now I didn't look at the last decade and numbers and analytics for them, but when's the last time you left the football game or the beginning of a season and said the Baltimore Ravens are soft?
Right.
When's the last time you said that?
Never.
When's the last time you said that this is a finesse football team? You don't. Now, you may say they have some finesse abilities because of Lamar's feet and arm and the numbers they put up. But I'm talking about dominating the offensive line, even if they don't have great personnel at times on the perimeter, in the past, a phenomenal quarterback. They control the line of scrimmage, and their front seven's usually dominant. They play good on the back end, but they pound you. You don't hang, week after week, you just kind of run through them. And it's not even the yards, Segs. When Denny was our coach in Minnesota, he said, I don't care if they have 700 yards, keep them out of the end zone, right? And I think everybody feels you throw for 440 and run for 60, but lose by 21 points if you're the opponent. while it doesn't look good for the overall stats at the end of the year, when you go in the next day, Denny didn't care. You could play on a 60-yard field all you want. Keep him out of the end zone, make him kick field goals, and go score and dominate him, right? The line of scrimmage. And his point was, you know what, all that, a lot of times when you're down, you're throwing to get back in. He didn't care about the yards. Now, for ego and pride, we all do at some point, right? Care about the yards. But just a straight football team, that doesn't, to me, dictate how good or bad my football team is. But what does is when you're bludgeoned with 2 1/4 running the football, that's when you say the yards do matter because they wore us out, right? That's when you go back and look, say, oh, they had 500 yards total. Yeah, but they only scored 17 points, meaning the opponent. You're like, okay, one of those days they were finesse and they threw it around. But when it mattered inside, when at the line of scrimmage, oh, they rushed for 47 yards on 19 carries. You're like, we're good.
Right,
we're good. And then, sorry, we got a major, the sun is rising, and I'm going to have to switch because it's in my eyes. You see my forehead just all of a sudden light up, dude? There you go. John will make the move, thanks, so I could actually see who I'm talking to. So, Segs, we're going through that, right? And I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking, you know what? I've seen it week in and week out now with them, that they get pounded at the line of scrimmage. And offensively, they're laying the ball on the ground, turn over, and put too much pressure on Lamar Jackson to have to make plays. And he didn't play a great game, but he always plays well enough to keep you hanging around, right? But the thing that stuck out to me, and I know how good Detroit's offense is and how Buffalo's, but those are the teams you're going to face either in February or in January. And it's hard to change physicality during the season. You're either physical or you're not. And I know it's hard for people to want to admit that the Baltimore Ravens are not a body blow team this year. Now, on offense, when you get Henry going, you're like, of course, on offense we are. We can run downhill. It's the defensive side that's given up too much. You can't continue to have to put 30 and 35 and 40 points on the board. Oh, it'll get you to the playoffs because they're just good and they're just talented.
Right.
When you get to January and you get in that kind of fist fight, the other team, when they got a quarterback that can match Lamar, you got a running game that can either get close to the Derrick Henry style, and then you got a better defense, Buffalo, teams we can go right down the list of teams to do. That is going to keep Baltimore from where they want to go. And then you know what everybody's going to say, oh, Lamar didn't get him to the Super Bowl. That's how that works, right? And you look and say, no, Lamar did just fine. Thank you. It's the guys on the other side of the ball that are getting bludgeoned in the run game and at the line of scrimmage, which is so non-Baltimore-like. It feels over the – hell, I can't remember the last time I described Baltimore as that kind of team, Seg. So that's what I'm talking about as far as doing it. And the yards look bad, but in truth, the yards in the run game and the way it looked on TV, it looked like they were just – I mean, everything Detroit wanted to do in the run game and in the physical game proved that the Lions are more physical with great finesse, right? So there you have it. In truth, the score really wasn't that close. The Lions let them get that late. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got the touch. I guess it was that close because it is what the score says it is, but – when you looked at it, it was domination by Detroit in the game. It was. And Dan Campbell, when he looked at the score, I guarantee you when they watched the tape yesterday, Segs, they're looking at saying that. And he even complimented Baltimore. He says, that's what it looks like in the AFC. That's the type, I mean, giving Baltimore meaning it's a fist fight. Yet the Detroit Lions won the fist fight, and so have other teams. Baltimore is going to have to get it fixed, Segs. Derrick Henry can't keep laying it on the ground. He can't fumble and lose it 3 times in a year, let alone 3 times in 3 weeks. As good as he is, and the fumble hurt him, and he knew it was going to put him in a bind, and it did. You can't give Detroit short fields or extra possessions. They're too good, and you saw it. And they execute trick plays well. Kind of looked like some Ben Johnson play calling down there in the red zone, didn't it? But I was impressed because I would have thought going in, think, okay, can Detroit – I know offensive line and their run game can hold up. I was wondering to see how their defense was going to hold up against all those dimensions. They shut down Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews had some good plays, but it was Baltimore's physicality that couldn't keep up with Detroit's. And that's a bit alarming at this stage of the season. You could see the frustration all over Lamar's face, all over the Ravens' face, even though it was an 8-point difference. What's bothersome is how they got beat. They didn't get beat with a lucky knockout. They got beat with body blows to the rib cage the entire game. And we know how good Detroit finesse-wise can be as well.
Yeah, and I had said that Lamar didn't throw the ball well. I meant he didn't run the ball well. He threw the ball actually kind of deep.
He didn't have his best game, but he played well.
Put 21-27, so he took care of the ball, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. But the problem for the Ravens
has the bar up here now, Segs. He set the bar so high, 21-27, and he doesn't run for 90 yards. We're like, what's wrong with Lamar? Nothing's wrong with Lamar. Thank you.
But when you look at last week and this week combined, I just did the math. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, the last 2 weeks, have only carried the ball 32 times combined for 121 yards, so roughly 4 yards a carry. But 32 times for those two guys running the ball with a team that wants to run it first is not nearly enough. And remember, the Cleveland Browns last week shut them down.
That's one game, Segs, for those two combined attempts.
Right. Should be.
You know my stat. You know my stat. It should be, truthfully, it should be Henry 24, 25 carries, Lamar 7 or 8, whether it's a scramble or a designed run.
Yes.
And those 8 or 9 runs end up being for 70 yards, 60 yards, but clutch runs with third down plays. But they didn't get a go. The line of scrimmage was dominated. If Lamar was an average player, this game would have been over at halftime.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's how Detroit. If Lamar was an average player and didn't give you still some spectacular plays and make some plays with his feet, but you're exactly right. Ball space, no matter what. Lamar is his first. Derrick Henry control the line of scrimmage, and then they make big plays. And now here we are, Segs. Detroit actually looks like the Lions that we expect all the time. It was pretty impressive victory by them, and it's a measuring stick the first month of the season.
Yeah, everybody was kind of worried after week 1 against the Green Bay Packers when the Detroit offense struggled a little bit and they were getting their feet under them with a new coordinator. Everybody's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Well, the last 2 weeks they destroyed the Bears defense, which is horrible, and they destroyed a Ravens defense that we thought was going to be good. But looking at this team, do you still feel like Detroit is every bit as good, or we still kind of got to wait and see a few more weeks before we determine how good they really are after losing both coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn?
Yeah, I think we're still, I don't want to say in a holding pattern. I think we're skewing the right way if you're a Lions fan. Here's the one thing, Segs. Even with all coordinators, as we saw in Philadelphia, it does matter, right? When you lose them and you get them, I mean, they do matter. And it takes a while to get them in rhythm. And some never get in rhythm, and some do when it comes to play calling, and players buy into it. Now, remember the coordinator now in Detroit, offensive coordinator especially. He was in Detroit, went to Denver, was with Sean Payton, and came back. Mm-hmm. So this is familiar territory. And the handoff, and the way – I want to get to this real quick, but the handoff to Amon-Ra St. Brown and the pitch to Jahmyr Gibbs for the score felt like Ben and him had talked. Said, I'm going to show you some Ben Johnson stuff that we were all about when I was here too. And it was pointed out on the broadcast by Aikman. Did you see the way, and I'm telling you, 31 other teams would not have done this. And maybe I'm wrong, but the little details, it would impress me about Detroit. Did you see the way Goff handed the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown? Instead of handing it where you hand it, and it's parallel to the ground, he handed it perpendicular. He handed it north and south. So when Amon-Ra, knowing you're going to get quick pressure off the edge, if you get it like a normal running back, or horizontal, you have to flip it in your hand and pitch it. What he did is Goff turned the ball on the snap to him under center and turned the ball vertically north and south. So when he handed it to Amon-Ra St. Brown, all he had to do was grab laces and pitch, or grab ball and pitch. He didn't have to readjust the ball. And you saw how quick the pressure, the end came up to try and hit him in the mouth. Bam, caught it. If we get another view of it, watch how he hands it. Let's see if it's there, Segs. But the view of handing it in slow motion. Watch this now. Watch how he gives it to Freeze. Yeah. There you go. He handed it to him vertical.
He had it like
so
this.
He could just catch and pitch. And the catch and pitch, so there was no – because if he hands it to him and he has to fiddle with the ball, that could be a strip sack, ball on the ground, bad play. Great job by St. Brown giving it to him. And then when Gibbs gets on the edge, forget it, right? So just the little details. So, Segs, I think we're close. But I'm a guy that 4 to 5 weeks, I kind of get a better idea of their identity. Okay, they beat Chicago, which Chicago, then they go and hammer Dallas. Chicago's better than they were, in my opinion. They got beat in the first week by a good Packers defense. And you're trying – was it the Packers? Yeah, it was the Packers, right?
Yeah.
They got them in the first week, 6, right. And then in week 3, they hammered a Super Bowl contender in Baltimore. So I still think we got to see a week or two more of this, the domination at the line of scrimmage, and then we can say – the Detroit Lions. Listen, they weren't going to go away. And when you get right down to it, while coordinators do matter, you'd give me the best coordinators in the world with average talent. They're not. Coordinator ain't making one tackle, didn't do anything.
Right.
I'll always take the players over the coach, and then if I get both, well, then it's a great bonus. St. Brown, Gibbs, Montgomery, Goff, offensive line, Hutchinson, go around, Sigs. The majority of that skill position talent and their offense is still there. So they're better. And I'll tell you what, they got after it at the line of scrimmage. I think Detroit's going to be good. And I think they're also out to prove that it wasn't – if you're a player, Sigs, wouldn't you get a little bit of offended if you say it's like, well, it's Glenn and Ben Johnson are the reasons that they got there. If you're a player, you're saying, whoa, wait a minute, man. I've carried the ball 25 times. Don't tell me it's the same hole, it's the same verbiage. So slow your roll here a little bit. So I think there's always that little. And I've been on teams where you lost a coach, and when somebody says, "Well, what are they going to do without him?" Well, what you're going to do is show up and prove that you're still a good football team with some good players. And I think we got a little bit too all of us a little bit too overzealous on crowning the Detroit Lions just an average team once the coordinators left, but they do matter. And we'll see how it extends, but they look a little confident now and look like they're playing like a real team again. I like seeing it, and Baltimore will respond, I assure you. I'll tell you what, I don't know who Baltimore plays next week, Segs, but I haven't looked at the schedule, but I can tell you this, you probably better strap it on next week if you're the opponent, because Derrick Henry's going to run pissed, and they are going to play they're going to get an ass chewing all week on the practice field, and they are going to respond.
They walk into Arrowhead next week to play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
I'm going to tell you right now that matter of fact, my number one bet of the week next week, money line, give me Baltimore.
I was just going to look that up. Let's see. That currently sits Baltimore -2.5 with an over-under of 48.5.
It's really a touchdown because Kansas City's getting 3 points normally at home, right? They're going into when's the last time Kansas City was a dog in their building?
Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
Think about interesting. That. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, but I'll bet you you'd be hard pressed to find them as a dog in their building in the last since Mahomes year 2, year 3. I'm just telling you, the Baltimore Ravens. Even though Kansas City started slow, they got their win. Baltimore, I would expect Baltimore to play great football next week.
Yeah, I would hammer that -2.5 to Baltimore.
Agreed.
I mean, even though it's on the road, that just seems like it's a easy win.
Vegas thinks the same way you and I are right now, too, Sig. They're thinking, ooh, Baltimore got beat this way. I would expect them to be a lot better next week.
Yeah. All right, we say, you just said normally it takes 4 or 5 weeks to really see what a team does. The Giants aren't waiting 4 to 5 weeks to see what Russell Wilson is. We know what Russell Wilson is. It's Jackson Dart's team now. Dable reiterated it today that it's Jackson Dart's team the rest of the season. This isn't let's see how he does one game. It's his team the rest of the season, assuming health. This is the right decision by Brian Dable and company, the GM, everybody. It's time to see what this kid's got. And he's played a little bit, but let's see what he's got full time and see if him and Malik Neighbors can start to develop a duo and become one of the better duos in the league and start running that offense as a rookie right now.
Great point, Segs. This had to happen. And you and I have talked about it. I told you it was coming. It was only it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. And I actually, and this isn't hindsight because I said it, coming out of preseason, I know who Russ Wilson is at this stage of his career anyway. Russ Wilson's not the same aggressive. I want you to sans the 450-yard game. Hell, I can find he had a really good throwing game against the Cowboys. I get that. You're going to have. I'm just talking about the overall body work. Just watch. I mean, things he misses and some of the stuff he doesn't use his feet as well. He just doesn't have. I don't want to say skittish because I have nothing but respect for Russ Wilson's game. He's had a great career, but he's a backup in the league. And I said it on Twitter 2 weeks ago, and I say now he's a backup now. Well, do backups throw for 450? Yeah. Actually, some of us backups have thrown for 400 yards, and it happens regularly for a guy who comes in, throws for 390 or 400 yards, but may not be able to sustain it. Russ Wilson's had a great run. Russ Wilson's not a starting quarterback. If it was me coming out of the preseason just looking at the energy, real energy, not the I got to force leadership on the guys. I love Russ, but you know how he is. There's a little over exuberance of it, and almost feel like the over exuberance of it is trying to cover up for the fact that Russ just doesn't have the same game. His feet aren't the same. He's a step slower. He's a step late to a read at times. He's still a good player, but good players play backup in this league. He's not a starter. And the energy, I don't know how it's going to start for Jackson Dart. I don't know if he's going to come out and play great, but I do know this. Watch the energy and the elevation of the Giants. They will look different. Whether it means wins or losses, I don't know, and it may mean he wins too. But over the long haul of getting him work now, hell, I'd have started him when the season started and said, let's roll with it. Because Brian Dable, your job's on the line. Jackson Dart, I believe, was going to give you a better chance to win because he's going to look, Segs, I promise you, he's going to look a lot like Russ Wilson did as a rookie. You watch. Remember out of the third round, he came in, starting quarterback Matt Flynn was hurt with his elbow, didn't practice much in preseason. Pete Carroll turned it over to Russ Wilson. Feet, arm, and the energy when Russ came in as a rookie was off the charts. And then you saw Seattle's run. Now, I don't know if the Giants are going to have the same run. This may be auditioning, getting Jackson Dart in there for the next head coach. But it may very well also save Brian Dable's gig. Because if they all of a sudden go in and win 3 or 4 games that they weren't supposed, they play better, they may say, well, man, that's it. Brian needs and who knows? Building. But to me, this wasn't a, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. This was you're about 3 weeks too late. Regardless, I don't care what he did against the Cowboys, and I respect him, and I think he's had a great career. Jackson Dart at this stage is a better player. Now, he can't see coverage right now like Russ does, but he's just a better player. There's more energy. The players are going to respond. We've seen the movie a million times.
Right.
Russell Wilson had a great career and may very well be a Hall of Famer. But I can tell you this, their play calling with Russ, I almost think the play calling has kind of been a little Mike Kafka, and they haven't been able to do the things they wanted. Now, we know Russ is deep ball, but I'm talking about just everything, Sigs, movement, move the pocket. Russ has just been a step late and a read short of being who Russ Wilson used to be. That's not it's not mean. It's not personal. It's just, it's what happens to players in this league. See, Russ is no longer the player like he was in Seattle where he could carry an offense, Segs. You know what he is? He's the guy who needs all kinds of help. And unfortunately, they don't have enough of it. Right now, Jackson Dart's the guy that can make those crazy ass plays. And listen, there's going to be times, Segs, he's going to miss a wide open guy because he doesn't know how to read it yet. But then he's going to sidestep a dude and make a big play with his feet. He'll look a lot like Russ Wilson did when Russ was a rookie. I think Jackson Dart's got a great energy. I think he's a dynamic talent. And it's going to be tough in New York, but I feel like he's poised. He's got the look of a guy, dude, if he has success, Madison Avenue is going to love Jackson Dart. Right. And you and I know he's going to fly. He's going to be doing all kinds of stuff. But it was time. You got to salvage it and watch the players rally around him. As much as I'm sure they respect Russ, and I do too, Jackson Dart gives you a better chance to win right now with his energy, and they needed to do it.
And even if he goes out remember Caleb Williams came out and played okay right at the beginning, and then they lost 10. They had that Hail Mary against them by the Commanders, and they lost 10 in a row or whatever it was as the Bears. But Caleb Williams showed some signs of being an NFL starting quarterback in the league, whereas we know Russ Wilson isn't that guy. Jackson Dart is kind of, I don't want to say auditioning, but he's auditioning for offensive coaches in the league that most likely when Brian Dable is fired, they're like, ooh, I see what that guy can do. I know I can take that offense and be great with it.
Well, Kenny, let me tell you, Kenny King 1240. I know you love to come in here and get in battles with us. Play calling's awful, been admitted. That's us. It's funny how y'all praise some QBs and shit on others. Well, I don't think we shit on anybody. I think I give him all respect. I don't think one thing I said was shitting on Russ Wilson. I gave him all the respect, quite frankly, a lot more than others are going to give him. Yep, isn't that the way sports goes? Yep. Some guys are better than others. Some guys get praised, some guys don't. What do you want us to do? Kiss them all, kiss their ass and suck them all off just because because we're supposed to? Yep, right. Jackson Dart talked about how great Lamar Jackson is. Jared Goff had a good game. Look how good Josh Allen is. Mahomes' offense isn't very good, so his tape. Yep, that's called sports, man. And I think that you've been watching it long enough to know that it's called sports. Right now, Jackson Dart gives you more energy. Russell Wilson's not making them better, whether it's the play calling or not. It's funny how you want to keep some guy in there that they're not going to win with. So, yep, let's call that. Just like we do at tight end, just like we do. I mean, we can sit here and tell everybody they're great. We could say everybody's shitty. So when you criticize or compliment, it's not kissing ass. It's not shitting on a quarterback. It's called evaluation and stuff. And no offense, I think I know the position fairly well, just a hunch. And I think the business, I've only done it 30 years, so I think, just a hunch, that criticizing and complimenting fairly is okay. And even if I didn't do it fairly, if I said, nope, Russell, and you know what, Jackson Dart may struggle for 4 weeks, and then we'll give him some trouble too, especially if he's missing wide open guys like we did Zach Wilson and he's snapping the ground. I don't know what your problem is, how you all praise some QBs. Well, don't you praise some? Don't you think Josh Allen's better than Russ Wilson? Don't you think that Lamar Jackson's better than Joe Flacco? Don't you? I mean, I think. Don't you think Caleb Williams is more dynamic than most rookie quarterbacks or second-year quarterbacks in the league now? So I don't know your point unless you want to pick a fight. But you're getting to the point where we're rolling our eyes at you, and I like you. But when you come out here, I know we're going to get at you. But it's called a sports show for a reason. You can go ahead and call Russ and tell him he should still be the starter. I like Russ. Russ has had a hell of a career. I don't know shitting on a guy saying that he's probably a Hall of Famer is bad, but Russ Wilson's not a starting quarterback in the league. So there it is. It's just he was, and now he's not. So I don't know if that's shitting on somebody. I'd probably do it as respectful as anybody, be fair when I could unload on people. And you know what? I think I'm going to save that. But if you want to battle this position, it's one that you probably will finish in second. But that's okay. Well, I got you.
And for him to say it's not fair to put Dart in this position, most first-round quarterbacks, especially now, yes, or over the last, say, 10 years, really is when it really become like you get your rookie quarter. If you're bad, you get your rookie quarterback in the game. We don't see a lot of Green Bay situations where Jordan Love's taken late in the first round and Aaron Rodgers plays 3 more years. I mean, we saw it with Patrick Mahomes. He sat that year with Alex Smith.
1 year. Yeah.
But that's Alex Smith, too, who was playing really well at the position. So to say it's not fair to put him in this position, yeah, the team's not good. I get it.
Well,
I mean, Caleb Williams dealt with
fair, Sigs.
Right. Yeah, this is seeing what a guy can do.
Fair about it. Right. There's nothing. Football's not fair. Neither is life. So we're going to wait till the Giants actually have great players or till some team. When you draft a guy that high, you draft him to play him. You draft him to play him.
Yep.
You just do. I don't need to bamboozle you. I'd probably understand the position a tad more. That's all. That's not saying you don't, but I probably understand it a tad more. Sports, there's nothing fair about it. What am I supposed to do? Hey, Russ, you know what? We're going to keep you in just to be fair. Or Jackson Dart, we don't want you to face any adversity. That's a problem in society. We don't let anybody face any adversity, get kicked in the teeth and struggle through it. I'd like to find out if Jackson Dart can handle getting his ass handed to him because he's going to. Right. He's going to struggle. And I don't know how good he's going to be, but I know this. His dynamic energy and judging from the people that I've talked to that have watched him with the fellas in practice looks pretty good. And they feel good about it. This is a decision that there's not going to be any people in the building that are going to argue with it. And you heard Collinsworth even talking about it. It was they almost felt like the decision's overdue. No disrespect to Russ. It just happens in sports. So it's not a matter of fair. A guy hits 175 and he's a star, and there's some rookie first-round pick that they draft. Guess what? It's going to happen. Jackson Holliday is going to come up and play. So it's not a matter of being fair. Well, it's not fair to Dart. What's fair about it? It's a tough position. You got to go out and you got to compete. You got to play when a coordinator doesn't call the right players and make people better. That's why they drafted you. And you know, if you're a shitty-ass team and that's why you're picking high, guess what? We expect you to come in and not play like a rookie if possible. So, you know what you get with the two of us? What's that? You respect? Yes. Is that we're going to be fair and honest. And we don't pick on people to pick on them, Kenny. And I give you all the respect in the world where most guys would have cut you off for some of the things you say. So we simply are trying to be honest in an evaluation. And if you think that the evaluation has something to do other than football, you're 100% wrong. Wrong show, wrong people. Okay. That's a you thing, not an us thing. So it's great to have you on here, but I have a pretty good idea why Jackson Dart's starting because right now they think he gives them a better chance to win, period. And it doesn't have to be fair. There's nothing fair about it.
Continuing in the NFL before we jump over to college football, something that doesn't seem fair, but is still part of the game. Nick Bosa tears another ACL. That's his third ACL.
It's not fair, in his life. It's not fair. Yeah.
Right. So
wasn't fair when I tore mine twice either. That sucked. Right. Okay? Nothing fair about it. Have to go back and re-earn your job again. Yeah, it sucked.
So the undefeated 49ers lose their number one pass rusher for the season, obviously. Can they sustain that? Because he had kind of become, they still have a few other players on defense, but especially up front, he had become their just true number one, kind of only number one. Old man, we're going to do Ryder Cup preview big time tomorrow. We'll talk about it a little bit later in the show today. But yeah, just tough break for the 49ers. He was off to a good start. And you tell me, you had two. This is his third. Now, this is the other knee. But how hard is it to come back now having both knees redone? Will he come back better than ever? Well, where's that stand when it comes to multiple ACL tears?
First things, he's a beast, and we know how good a player he is, obviously, and it isn't fair. I shredded mine twice. I'm going to tell you what happens. The physical grind, we're at the point now with all the modern medicine and the way that training goes. I think an Achilles is worse than a knee now. I do. Watching it, for your quick twitch and the rest of it. These guys are so physically gifted. What used to be like a 14-month injury the first one I had to wear a plaster cast in 1982, back in the day. And you'd walk, atrophied set in. It was a much longer rehab. And then the second one, you put a hinge in it. I played all 10 years of my NFL career without an ACL. The second one, it was like this one, the scar tissue heals up. So I'm not going through that again. I got to go through all the rehab, but the same thing. It's not the physical grind that got me. Now, later on in life, when you're bone to bone, and now I've had knee replacement, it sucks. But while you're playing, there's two things that start to enter. One is you're saying, when is this going to happen again? I hate to say that, but you do. He's on what? Third one, 2 on one knee, 1 on another one, right, Segs? So we said, is it confidence? Now, maybe not for him, but there's still that wonder of, can I get back to where I was? I was a different player after it. I was, because contrary to belief, I actually could move pretty well when I got to USC and stuff. I could run and move for a big guy, but I lost a little bit of that edge of that separation edge, right? And there was just a little confidence that you had. It took me a long time when I finally got to say, listen, no ACL. I'm finally back confidence-wise, but it took me a minute. Now, Nick Bosa is a different cat, right? So I'm not overly worried about the physical, although, Segs, eventually what happens, the knee's never the same. Now you're just repairing it. I mean, you can't take away from and do it now with modern, with the way they take tendon from something and move it to another, all this stuff. I'm not overly worried that he's not going to be a beast. It's the mental grind that he's going to go through now. The frustration. I've had to do this 3 times now. This is the third time. It's that mental where the scar tissue tears. And then you're on the orthotron and the Cybex machine. And you're in there grinding the training off. Guys are walking by you in the room, and while they love you, out of sight, out of mind. You're not helpless. They move on to the next player. That's it. It's the insensitive part of sports. We love you. And like I said, I fully believe Bosa is going to come back and be a hell of a player. But you can't help but wonder, is it still going to be the same? Will he be that? Is he going to have that same quick first step? And the grind he'll go through now is going to be more the emotional and mental grind of, I'm pissed, I got to get back, and breaking through those the goals you're trying to reach. So physically, you look at the dude. Hell, he probably played better on one leg than a lot of cats can on two. Right. He's a beast. But the mental and emotional part of it, Segs, you have to go through. And then you'll go through all the emotions of, why me? This sucks. I can't be a part of a team. They got worse. And the 49ers continue year in and year out to face great players getting that team's been crushed. And again, it's not fair, but it happens. There's nothing fair about it. They don't just get crushed by a backup special teams guy, which I never want to see anybody get hurt. They're stars, and they got a lot of them, whether it's a McCaffrey injury, whether it's a Fred Warner injury, whether it's it seems like it hits Brock Purdy. They seem to get hit with their key players a lot. I think Bosa physically will be fine because of the way it is. Hell, 20 years ago, we didn't start to say, is his career over? Honest to God, people started asking me after the deal. I wonder what, then you become just a guy. There's nothing just a guy about Bosa, but I think it'd be fine. It's the mental and emotional stuff, Segs, and the confidence that you can get back to where you were. But that's what he's going to have to break through, and that's a thick wall to get through it in your head more, though, than the physical, because you look at him, that guy can bench press the team bus. Physically, he'll get after it and probably be pissed more than ever to get back and be a great player.
I saw, and I cannot find the tweet. I was trying to find it. I saw a former player, I believe it was a defensive tackle, but he was tweeted about that injury, his injury and stuff, and he talked about the turf versus grass controversy that we see, where he was saying that basically turf is causing a lot of these. We saw James Conner pop his Achilles this past weekend.
It was a buddy of mine, former.
If you say the name, I'll know it. I just can't think of it right now.
He's played for the Chargers, played for Pittsburgh.
Yes.
He's got all the brothers. He's from Hawaii. He's Tongan.
Yes.
Yes.
He was just saying how
my brother is a great friend of the family. My older brother, Curtis. So now that you said it,
I'm blanking on the name.
He said that you're going to see more of these because of the turf, because it doesn't have any give to it. Yeah,
right, exactly. So where do you stand on the whole turf versus grass? Because he's saying grass has give, which when you're on turf, it's you're everything's so tight. I mean, these guys are crazy athletes already. Everything's already tight when you look at the muscles they have and everything, that it doesn't take much. And if you just step wrong or at the right time, and that muscle just stretches, especially that Achilles, like you talked about, just stretches a little too far, and then we see the pop and the ripple up the calf. I mean, do you think it's just as simple as turf versus grass?
It's not the only thing, but it's a big reason.
Yeah,
it's like anything else. Hell, I mean, when you put the brakes and the gas on at the same time, say you're a 2-foot driver, brakes usually win, right?
Right.
The turf's the brakes. The gas is the gas is grass. Honestly, because you can go when you put and that's the best way I can describe it. There's no doubt. Now, sometimes my first knee injury dropped back to pass, and they had a safety blitz in the A gap, and Bruce Matthews was blocking his guy and put his hand on him, and he fell into me. I was stepping into a throw, and Michael Richardson, for the safety for Arizona State, I was going one way, he was coming the other way, and that's not a good combo. No. Done. And so those are how do you control that? The truth
that's like the Tom Brady injury, right?
Right. There should be more injury sakes. Truthfully, these guys look how they bend. If you watch sometimes with that cut and that ankle bends like that, and you say, how did he not blow that out? And he still, it's crazy. There's even times when I've looked back, just referring to my say, how did I get to? And you think that guy's done and he's playing. There's nothing wrong. It's amazing how Gumby-ish these players are because they're so flexible and so strong, but. I couldn't control that. And then there's also the injury a non-contact injury. For me, Segs, yes, listen, if you want to limit them, we always talk about concussions, making it safer there. If you really, now listen, we all feel more confident on turf. Why? Because it's a faster surface. Rain doesn't really affect you. There's this feeling of, oh man, I'm a 4.7 guy or a 4.8 guy. I'm faster now on turf. It just feels, it's like playing on a golf course. It's got fluffy fairways or quick, great green. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's better. Who is it? My guy. Fajoko. Yes. Yeah. The Fajoko brothers. And there's and dude, you get those guys in a group, they can bench press Hawaii themselves. Pops is even bigger than all of them, right? I love them, and they're a great family. So it is, Segs, for me, it's the grass. Yes. If you really want to stop the lower leg injuries, at least limit them. You're never going to stop them completely. There's too many guys, too much force, too much explosiveness. Right. But non-contact injuries or injuries that even if there was contact, if there was some give on the grass, what we should be doing is playing. Here's what I understand. Name me the last time a World Cup or a soccer team you saw play on turf. You haven't, ever. No. The World Cup will never be played on anything but grass. Why, Segs? Well, why aren't they playing that on turf? Fast game, get the ball moving, give the offense an advantage because you get that skip like you do in a base. Why aren't they? And yet we'll put 11 on 11 of guys. And in soccer, if you go up and run by a guy and you're 3 feet away, the guy blows out his shoulder or fakes like he does, and the other guy gets a yellow card. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he didn't even touch you. In football, they literally beat the dog shit out of you, and then you're sitting there. But you don't get grass. Right. We have turf, some grass, some turf. They won't play on anything but grass. So you tell me why? Because if the owners quit being cheap, I know you do it to save money. Everybody, if you really want to save lower half injuries, or at least when I say save them, limit them. We've done everything for the upper half. Why not help some of these guys with the lower half? Because that affects careers too. You don't tell me an Achilles doesn't slow somebody down coming back from an Achilles. You may not be the same player. You do two of them, you can guarantee you're not going to have the same move. Deshaun Watson's never going to be as quick or as good as he ever was with his hand. He's just not. He may be good, but there'll still be something missing. It just happens. So, you want to change it? Force all 32 to put grass in. Well, what happens when it rains all the time? Oh, well, play in a slopper. So what? Yeah. It happens. So, yes, it does matter. I don't see how anybody can say, well, facts don't prove that. Bull, especially those who have been through non-contact injuries. And that's a blow to San Diego because that's a banger, Najee Harris is. The Chargers of L.A. But, I'm in full agreement. It's not the only reason, Segs, but it is part of it. It's like anything. Does a better helmet keep the guy safer on impact? Sure. When I was growing, Kenny King, you probably remember this too, and all of us, Segs, even you. Yeah, I had a suspension helmet. You put it on, and there was a cloth, and then they came out with that bike helmet where you'd pump it up, right? And so they're always trying. When's the last time you saw us trying to save lower half injuries? We're adding turf.
Right.
When's the last time they came and said, I'm tired of all these lower half injuries? There's more lower body injuries than there is concussions.
Right.
Although the concussions can be a lot longer lasting. But you know what? Knee bone to bone, when you're limping at 40, it affects your quality of life too. So if we would focus on that and come out with a mandate that said, listen, you're all putting grass in. That's just the way it's going to be. The players want to vote on it. The NFLPA, let's put grass in. Well, you may feel faster. Screw that. Now, well, how do you do it indoor? I don't know. Arizona has grass on their indoor facility, don't they, Sakes? Isn't that a grass field?
Yeah.
Open it up. Listen, we're at the time now with all the synthetic stuff. You can grow anything anywhere. Give me, and now don't let anybody build a facility that's not open and closed both. Does that make sense? Where if you're building a new one, you got to build one of those no matter where it's open, you can give us both. If you want to keep it open all the time, have at it. But you have the ability to close it. You can grow grass, grow it out and slide it in. And people do that all the time. Listen, there's a lot of geniuses out there. If you want to save injuries, it would cut them down, especially non-contact injuries. And it does matter to running backs, receivers, and everybody else who plays.
Yeah, and it's interesting because so many, for example, my boys are 10. They're playing games every Sunday. Majority of their games are on turf because they're playing on high school fields. So, our high school here in my little town of 10,000 people is turf. I mean, most of the high schools around here are turf, and down in Texas, it's a lot of turf. So it's just
none of it.
It's just the way they do it. All right.
Thanks real quick about that, though, and you make a good point. Now, think about this. While it isn't, you're right, in Texas, all those big stadiums. Why? Because in high school, I know they have big donors, but they're saving money. They don't want to have to keep putting. Hell, I remember in my high school, our summer project every year, we had to go line the field and help on the grass because we didn't have any money in the town.
Yes.
And it was just every year you'd go with the coach. Hey, man, bring your shovel. And be prepared. It's a work day for all of us. We're coming there. It's like a work project, and everybody'd have fun, and they'd take you to pizza afterwards. But you were lining fields and helping them stomp down the grass and help cut the grass because you didn't have enough money. And you'd go sell candy bars to raise money. Now you go to these private schools and, hey, what would you guys make on your money raised for your football team? Oh, $2.5 million.
Yeah.
We made 5,000, and we applied it to new turf, and it was sod. So you go play it. But things change. It's awesome. But think about this, Eggs. I know we joke about it. And I know they use high school, and we even say, dude, in Texas, junior high fields look like high school fields when you were growing up, right?
Yeah.
Think about, though, the pounding. If I put you on a pavement, you went and ran on pavement from the time you were 10 until you were done, the wear and tear, right? Yep. So we don't pay much attention to it now. But think about the 10-year-old kid who's going to go on and play pro football somewhere in Chicago, in the suburbs, in Texas. You tell me that's not going to have a cumulative effect on his body? Of course it is. So I know we can't do it at the lower level just because finances, but they can with the billionaires. I would make them all have grass. We make them do other things, so why can't you make them have grass? And Kenny, I'm with you 100%, brother. I would have started Dart at the beginning. I would have. Now, I understand you let Wilson either play his way into it or out of it. And I think Jameis Winston's one could start. I love Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston's one of the best dudes in the league. He's a great energy guy, and he'll support Jack. He wants to start. So, but I would have started Dart from the beginning, too. I just wanted to answer your question. But Segs, turf is a pain in the ass, although it makes you feel more confident. It just does.
Yeah, I get that. All right, jumping to college football, Sean, we had a huge injury announced just the other day. John Mateer, hand surgery, out at least a month. We'll see when he's able
to get hand too, Stakes, right?
Throwing hand, yep. Sustained it against Auburn in that loss. Michael Hawkins comes in to take over, and Venables said that he's a much better version of himself than he was last year when he got to play a little bit. How big of a blow is this to the Oklahoma Sooners?
It's a monster. Now, I don't know how. We'll see if Venables is right about Hawkins, right? We'll see. And how he responds to, Arbuckle as the coordinator, because the Mateer Arbuckle mix, because they were familiar, and that matters, was just perfect. And I think Mateer was his leadership, Heisman Trophy guy. I just think that he added a sense of what Oklahoma needed. Like a boot in the ass to him. Excuse me. There was just another level of, it looked like old Oklahoma football.
Right.
And Venables' defense, Segs, watching them play, don't they look nasty? They're pretty damn good on the defensive side of the ball. So the one thing, play defense and have a great quarterback in college, and you've got every chance to be in great position. And Segs, when you look at the awful football being played by Clemson, being played by some of these teams that were supposed to be, hell, I'm not sure. I'm still concerned about the Longhorns and what they're going to look like as this thing goes forward, aren't you?
Right.
I got concerns about them. I mean, you start to go around these teams that you're saying, man, Clemson looks like a mid-level team. So you start to go around. And Oklahoma, could be a moving year, which it already has for the Sooners. They're playing good defense, and they got a quarterback when the game is on the line, can make every play.
Yep.
And and then when he comes back, let's say it is 4 weeks. How will he adjust? How's the grip? How does he feel? Now, I'm assuming when he comes back, he'll be fine. But this stretch now is going to be the difference in whether Oklahoma is a playoff team or not. And this is it'd be the same. Go around the league. Let me ask you, what would happen if, Segs, you lost your quarterback right now?
Oh,
it'd be tough in
done.
Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
If we lost ours at SC, we Maeva, it would be a whole bunch. It'd be different. Well, I mean, you can go around the league and say, Ohio State. When you lose that guy, hell, look at Alabama's quarterback, how good he is now. Alabama's got a ways to go, but you take that guy out of the mix,
right?
And Mattia had as much to his team starting out this year as anybody in the country.
Kind of losing Sean here. I think his Wi-Fi is
chipping out.
Yeah, it's coming out. But yeah, so what he's saying is Mattia is just very valuable. I mean, he was one of the Heisman front runners going into this, into this week before he was gotten hurt. And I just pulled up their schedule. They play Kent State. So, okay, that's a good game for Hawkins.
They'll win with anybody. Yep.
Yes. Get his feet wet, get going. But then, boom, it's a Red River shootout rivalry, whatever the hell you want to call it, against Texas on the 11th. Then they got South Carolina at South Carolina. Then they got Ole Miss. Then they got Tennessee. Then they got Alabama. Then they got Missouri. Then they got LSU. I mean, they have maybe the hardest schedule left in football outside of Kent State.
Not named Florida.
Right, not named Florida. Yep, they're the same exact way. How big? I mean, so if he's gone 4 weeks and then hand surgery, it's not like you're just walking back in and you're back 100%. Now you got to kind of figure out everything again. You got to get your hand strong again. You got to get your, just back to used to throwing the ball, because it's not like it's a knee sprain that's going to knock him out a month where he can continue to sit and throw and keep that arm loose. No, he can't do anything with it because it's hand surgery. So, I mean, I don't know how tough this will be for Mattia to come back from. And with that schedule, I think you just have to tell Oklahoma, like, hey, you got off to a hell of a start, but it's going to be tough to make the college football playoff.
Segs, Jordan, I can tell you they're playing it right. I mean, Venables and saying all the right things. They're devastated in that building. Yes. Make no mistake about it. Because right now they're hoping Hawkins is ready. They don't know if he is, right? You don't know until you run him out there. And you won't know after Kent State either. You just won't. You won't know until you run into the big boys, as you just mentioned on the schedule. Yep. Jordan Alvarez, with a hand that didn't require surgery or hadn't had surgery, was out 100-plus games, Segs, with the Astros. 100-plus. Oh, it's 15-day. It's a soreness. Oh, there's a little fracture in there. We're going to let it heal. Well, slinging a baseball bat for a hitter and your hands is no different than the grip. Now, if it was his left hand, dude, he'd tape it up and cast it, and he'd be playing. Right. He'd probably sit out Kent State and play the next week, honest to God. But the grip, I don't know exactly how severe, but if you're getting surgery, then you got to come back and strengthen the thumb grip, which holds the ball, and make sure all those things. I put it this way. If I was a bet man right now and they said, Sean, you got to bet 10 grand one way or the other, will Oklahoma make the playoff if Mattia's out 5 weeks? And my answer would be no. But there's still hope. Now, Hawkins is going to get tested, and we're going to find out real quick because, in like you said, in the middle of the month, he's got to deal with one of the great rivalries and heading down to Texas and playing in the Cotton Bowl and getting after it, which will be a blast. But fortunate that UT, now defensively UT is good, but they're not actually killing anybody explosive-wise on offense either.
Right.
But it's the length of the schedule. South Carolina may be better then. They're getting Sellers right. I mean, who knows as this schedule goes on, Ole Miss is a really friggin' good team. So I would bet this is going to be a devastating blow. This isn't a backup defensive tackle. This was your guy and one of the top 2 front runners for the Heisman Trophy in college football. It's that when people try to make it like, oh, you're not losing much, bull. Of course you are, or you wouldn't have gone out and brought Mateer with you if you're Arbuckle and Mateer to bring them together. And I just think it's a major blow for a team that literally had a playoff chance with him at quarterback and the way they're playing defense.
Sticking in the same state, Mike Gundy out at Oklahoma State after a 19-12 loss to Tulsa. It was just kind of the final straw. Remember last year he brought in all new coaches and everything into his staff and replaced everybody basically. Now he's out. Where does Oklahoma State go from here? What kind of job is it? I mean, are we talking like a 3rd-tier job, a 2nd-tier job? I don't know where Oklahoma State stands at the moment, because while Gundy's had them competitive a few years, they never really broke through and were like, oh, there's Oklahoma State. Gundy's got them there. Where do you have them in the tier as a coach, and where do you look if you're Oklahoma State?
Segs, look at this record. Oh, look at this record. And you're exactly right. Put it this way, I would look at this and say I can make an argument. I know Jimmy Johnson was there and went on to Miami and was great at Miami. There's never been anybody at Oklahoma State that's had this, that's done this.
Right.
And so, and he's had all different coaches, everything. Now, listen, Gundy beats to a different drum. I actually think he's refreshing because he's out of his mind at times and he's funny. You know, I mean, if you want a good quote from Lane Kiffin, Mike Gundy, when Mike Leach was alive, Gundy gave you something. Mike Gundy he was great. Not good. He was great at Oklahoma State. Now, never won a national championship. But when you look at that record, Mike Gundy and the longevity and all the changes and stood his ground. He had a lot of problems with the administration and him, didn't see eye to eye a lot. Segs, don't feel sorry for them when it comes to money. Trust me. They've got money. Plenty of. The question is, will they spend it? That's one. 2 is, they're going to need some. You want to be the guy after the guy, and I know Gundy's not saving, but you're still coming in to replace a legend. Along with our guy Kyle Whittingham. I don't think there's any more longer tenured head coach for one school in the country than those 2 guys at Utah and at Oklahoma State. So I have nothing but respect for Gundy. He owes nobody an apology. He did a phenomenal job through the ups and downs of it. And for the most part, you could always count until the last couple of years, Segs, that they were going to get 9 or 10 wins every year.
Yeah.
I remember the year Brandon Weeden was when they got beat by Iowa State, they had a chance that year to go win, to be in the Final Four, right? In the playoff, when we were voting a different way and not having the 12-team playoff like we do now. So I got nothing but respect. Mike Gundy, if he wants to coach again, somebody be wise to hire him. Because the truth is, Segs, after all that time, probably needed, and Mike probably got stale. I mean, it's, think about what 40 years or whatever it's been. He's been a player. It probably is. Mike probably needs a refresher, and I'm going to tell you right now, Segs, you're UCLA. Why wouldn't you call Gundy right now?
Right.
You freaking call Mike Gundy right now if you're the UCLA Bruins. Their program blows. And Mike, there's money at UCLA too. The question is, do they want to spend it? What UCLA needs to do is get out of Rose Bowl, get a different on-campus facility somehow, or closer, smaller. You know what I'm saying? To make it. I'm just using them as an example because they're reeling right now. Sakes of a Power 4 program that a guy can come. Mike Gundy knows how to recruit. He's got some swagger to him with the hair. You know how he is, and it'll be weird seeing Gundy. But you know what? Mike Gundy's got a lot of football to coach. And he's going to be damn good somewhere else. Oklahoma State got a great Mike Gundy. The talent is they're just not good. They're one of the worst Power 4. They're not good at all. Right. But you can make a quick switch if you'll commit. Hey, the rules say NIL can be spent. If you will do it like Texas Tech is doing and make the quick switch and start getting people, the team Pickens, God rest his soul, money back into this mix and start doing it. They've got money and plenty of it. It's a great place to play. It's a great college town. They can win. They got to get the right guy. I don't know what direction they're going to go in. Probably somebody 100%, 180 degrees opposite of Mike Gundy, right? A different, maybe somebody who's a little different, who's all cowboy all the time. But how can you say Gundy wasn't all cowboy all the time? Heck, the better part of his life has been since he was 20,
18 years,
18 years old, right? So as a player, I'm talking about all the way through. So I think Mike Gundy's, I think he's a fun dude. He needs a different energy. It's not just Oklahoma State. So I think it was a good mutual way to go. And Mike Gundy probably knew this was coming, Segs, just with the way that it's gone. They'll find something. And Mike Gundy, some program's going to do right by hiring Mike Gundy. He'll change it around because he's a winner. And he has been at a program that never got this. I mean, I'm not saying the Barry Sanders, but I'm talking about the 5-star recruits, 8 of them. They never get the Georgia, Alabama guys. So they've had to develop as well. Mike Gundy gets football. Mike Gundy should coach again if he wants to, and I hope he does. I hope he's not done, and I wouldn't imagine he is. Oklahoma State was very fortunate to have him. He had a hell of a run.
Yeah. All right. We'll end the show on this. MLB announces yesterday that they will use the ABS system, the automatic balls and strikes system, for the 2026 season. Each team will get 2 challenges per game. If you win that challenge, you keep it. So, I mean, you could challenge 10 pitches, and if you win them all, you just keep going. But right decision by MLB?
What'd you say, Segs? You cut out.
Said, did the right decision by the MLB to go to the automatic balls and strikes?
Yeah, Segs, I hate. When it comes to certain things, I'm a little old school. I like human error. I don't like when I'm sitting at the plate and he misses by 6 inches and he calls it a strike. So there was a part of me that says it's going to feel weird. An umpire steps in, he's behind home plate, but he's not calling it. He's only there to call the guy home safe, all the little things that he's going to do. And part of it thought, man, it just doesn't. It feels like another gimmick. But in truth, Segs, it'll games. It will. Not that I care if the game's 245 or 247, the 2 minutes if my team's playing and they're going to win. I don't care. But the truth is, what do we want? We want it right. We want it right, which the NFL should say we should be able to review every play. With 2 red flags still, but we've talked, review any play. You should be able to review interference. You should be able to review if a guy jumps.
We're kind of losing Sean again. There he is. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested to see how the umpires deal with it in terms of, if a guy gets called,
I think he jumped off Segs.
I think we lost him. So, I'll just quick wrap up. With baseball, it's if an umpire is missing constantly and he keeps getting called out for it and it's going to piss the umpire off. So how do they react to missed calls and constantly being, I don't want to say their jobs threatened, but constantly being put in a position where they're shown to be wrong more times than not. And we've seen it way too many times at the plate in big situations where a guy's call it. Last night we saw it. I mean, just plays that you got to be able to review. George Springer, former Astro, with the Blue Jays in a pennant race. He hits a ball down the third baseline, clearly fair, called foul, and you can't challenge. It's just, there's a lot of frustrating things when it comes to umpires. And Sean, my question is, will umpires, when they get something wrong and they're challenged and it's shown to be wrong, and then it's shown to be wrong again, and then they just keep going, how will umpires react to this?
It's a great point. Sorry, in Hawaii, we do things a little slower out here, Sig, so it's a little more casual and relaxed. So maybe the internet's kind of like the person we just low key in it. Just to end that, I just want to get it right. And I used to be such an old school about, man, it just doesn't look like baseball. But the truth is, everything evolves, and if you're not on board, then you're getting left behind. So I'm okay with it. I think umpires, this is a slap in the face to them, and you and I both know it. And I would imagine it's going to hurt pride and ego. But in truth, some Segs, and I know they're not going to admit it. You ask how they're going to deal with it. I think some are going to get satisfaction in knowing that maybe even if the system messes up, they'll be like, see, it isn't just us, and how hard our job is. I think what it's going to say is that it's almost a pat on a roundabout way. They're going to realize just how tough the umpire's job was, even if this gets it right. And I think that umpires, Segs, you know this, some of them are going to love it. You want to know why? It takes pressure off them. Their job's going to become easier. They're still going to get paid and do all their stuff. And it's like, you don't get to bitch at me anymore. I'm not the reason because you missed a ringing a guy up and cost the team a World Series. That's not on me, man. So I get to sit back here and do my thing. Put it this way, waking up and going to a ballpark, Game 7 World Series, and you're the home plate umpire, you're like, oh, there's a lot of pressure, but guess what? Ain't quite the same as it was, right? So a little different. As long as we get it right, I'm fine. But there's no doubt the initial part of this is saying we got to get it right because you umpires are missing 3% of the time. How would you – I mean, in any job, it's a demotion. It is a demotion. So, of course, we know they're going to take it. But I also think that their longevity is like, all right, you guys go ahead and use that. Now I can sit back here. I'm not stressed out of my damn mind for 7-game world for a game because I got some pitcher who's going to bitch at me the whole time and I got to call everything on the black to perfection. I think this is a wise move, Segs. I do.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how next season goes. But first, we got the playoffs coming up here soon, and your Astros are they're leaking
No, my Red Sox and my Astros. Red Sox are getting in. Talk about them first. They're leaking. They're not leaking oil. They blew a gasket.
Yeah,
they get beat by Oakland. They got swept by Seattle. It almost feels like. I hate to say it because I haven't been on that show this week, and it's been kind of nice. It's like, oh my gosh, I'll be back in that studio Friday. I'll be back at our studio normally for our show here tomorrow.
Yes,
because I leave Hawaii today. But Segs, it is a major meltdown.
Yeah,
meltdown. And that young A's team, they're going to play freewheeling, and Cleveland's winning. Seattle has won like 800 in a row. It feels like 15-6, whatever it's been for them. They're clearly the best team in the division. If the Astros do get in, Segs, they won't be in for long. If they're able to pull it off and beat Cleveland for the final wild card, it's been an ugly watch, and I know that they're going nuts. And then with the way the Texans have started, which we'll hit more on later this week, because when D'Amico Ryans, Segs, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, says they're close to what? They're close on defense. Offensively, they're close to changing guys. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you talk about a quick hook for that. There's a lot to talk about in the NFL because we're playing a lot of sloppy football, brother. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And just another shot at Houston. Fred VanVleet tears his ACL and is out for the season.
I guess Houston sports in 2025, you can't wait to get to 2026 because, VanVleet, they have everything in mind. They're a really good team. They had a chance in the West. And now you think, oh, now we lose our point guard. Where are we going now? So it's been a tough sports year for Houston football and baseball and basketball.
But tomorrow, we will open the show. Ryder Cup preview kicks off Friday morning. I think it's 7:40 Eastern is the first tee off.
Four balls, right? Started off as four ball. Is that what it is? Foursomes? Yeah.
So it's going to be awesome to sit and watch and just see how the crowd is there at Bethpage Black, which is one of the best courses, one of the hardest courses in golf.
Brutal course, great fan base, and the New York fans, I love them, Segs, because they are going to light it up. And DeChambeau is going to make sure they do. Okay.
Did you see the video of Ed Orgeron at the Ryder Cup? Like, he's in the stands, like getting guys hyped up, cheering, getting fans going. So, I mean, who knows what this is going to be like?
I hate to admit this, Segs, but I did on Twitter. You're obsessed and out of your mind when 1,000 times over, I want Ryder Cup more than I want NFL football. So that tells you how. And I think the pizzazz and all the energy that's going to be at Bethpage, great course. These guys know each other, but they want to beat each other's brains in, and then they're going to go have to play against each other a couple weeks. I friggin' love it, and I will not miss one swing of a golf club, and I cannot wait to see it. And I can't wait to preview it tomorrow. And just so you know, Brandel Chambly today still hates Bryson DeChambeau.
That's never changing.
Yeah, you're not kidding about that.
That's just
watch DeChambeau go 5-0. That'll be a good response to all that, right?
This tells you how more excited I am for the Ryder Cup. I just had to look up right this second what the Thursday night football game was. I had no idea because I'm just so focused on Ryder Cup and everything.
Well, I'm right with you. Who's playing tomorrow?
It's let me get this right. It's Seattle at Arizona. So a game that I don't give a shit about.
Back to the Ryder Cup, right?
We'll save that Friday preview for the last 30 seconds of the show.
That's exactly right. And by the way, the opening ceremonies are today for weather. They may not get the practice round tomorrow. It may be washed out, but back at it Friday morning. And it's dangerous, too, because guys like DeChambeau who won't need rollout because he's so long, if it's Friday, if it's a little wet, but they're going to be firing at all the flags, which golfers like because it's soft on the greens, which gives them a chance. So we'll see.
Watching some of the videos of Bryson going for it on number 1, just going directly at the green is just incredible to watch. I mean,
I don't know how he doesn't pull something in every part of his body. It's crazy.
I know. Think about that course 15 years ago when they were playing it, whenever it was that they played just tournaments there.
Tiger won an event, U.S. Open there.
Yeah, you're never seeing guys go that, and now it's almost, I don't want to say the norm because Bryson DeChambeau isn't normal, but there's a couple guys that are taking that route to go just straight over the trees.
McIlroy can hit it a country mile.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are so long. It's crazy. What's he got? He's 200 yards away. He's sitting with an 8-iron. He's 7-iron from 210. What?
Right.
I mean, it's inhuman stuff, but you know what? It's such a blast to watch, and I can't. And yet, Segs, if you swung that hard, you and I would be on the IR for. I'm talking about even at 25 years old.
Yeah.
This dude, and the fact that he can keep the ball in play, and he's got his hand soft around the greens. I can't wait for it, dude. I might dress in red, white, and blue all day long. I'm telling you, I'm so into this. I can't wait, man.
I know the fact those guys can hit the ball, because if I tried that, I would miss the ball.
Agreed.
I would miss it.
I'm trying to find tempo anyway, and that ain't tempo. Okay, that's nuts. But he's so friggin' good.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love how both of these teams are loaded with great players. Who are you going to bench in a couple of these matches? I mean, who are you going to sit out? You know, it's just going to be fun to watch some rookies for the Americans, and 11 of the 12 they're veterans that have been in this before. It's going to be hot, heated, and I can't wait to see how everybody responds to it. What a pressure-filled event, because you got 11 other cats you got to think about, and your own country. And Scheffler still remembers getting smoked 9-7 by Ludwig Oberg and his partner. So it's going to be there's got a lot of memories, and this will last forever. I can't wait to see it, man. And I look forward to
it's going to be
talking
awesome, and we will do a full preview tomorrow. But that'll do it for us. Sean, enjoy your last few hours there in Hawaii.
I'll see you when I get home, brother. Thanks.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
We'll be back on tomorrow at noon Central, as we are every single day. Thanks to Triple E, thanks to Laura, thanks to everybody around the show, and we will be back with you guys tomorrow. Peace.